My name is David Thompson. I wrote this letter I'm about to read verbally. I recently posted on Facebook. It's a letter in defense and protection of my daughter. My daughter is a victim of intimate partner violence. This crime is now before the court, and I pray that justice will be served. Charles Fox is the father of the abuser of my daughter. To further add to my daughter's trauma, Charles Fox wrote a defamatory letter to the court attacking my daughter's character in a desperate attempt, to aid his abuser's son. Charles Fox is currently campaigning to run for the Member of Parliament for the Kenora-Kiiwetinoong riding in the upcoming federal election. Let me address Charles Fox's character. Charles Fox does not represent or uphold Canadian values to run for any political party representing our democracy. Charles Fox severely chastised a young powwow dancer from White Sand First Nation for wearing Canada's maple leafs on his regalia. This young man was traumatized by the verbal attack about his regalia that he took off the beaded maple leafs. I spoke to the young dancer and told him that Charles Fox had no right to say those cruel things about his regalia. I encouraged the dancer to put his maple leaves back on his regalia and be proud to wear them as part of his regalia. And this is the young man's, what he wore on his regalia. And it reads, "I love Canada." And that's what he got chastised for, wearing on his regalia. Charles Fox is responsible for selling out our rights as Treaty Indians. He sold us out when he signed an agreement with the Pretendian Club called Métis Nation of Ontario, or MNO. In his capacity representing Chiefs of Ontario, he gave MNO recognition that undermined and betrayed Anishinaabe people of Ontario. The signed agreement gave MNO a leg to stand on to negotiate agreements with the Ontario government for hunting and fishing and physical rights. He had no business or mandate to do this. His behavior was reckless. It was a dumb move, acting on his own selfish agenda. As Anishinaabe, we are still feeling the negative fallout from that agreement, signed by him as the representative of the Chiefs of Ontario. Charles Fox cohabitates with my cousin. My cousin was assaulted by him. Her brothers, my cousins, came to intervene in that assault and sorted him out. Last year, one of his other sons was called out at an Assembly of First Nations meeting by the chief of Onegaming First Nation. The details were posted publicly. According to the chief of Onegaming, the culprit son of Charles Fox assaulted young women from the Treaty 3 territory. I am a Canadian veteran. I signed on the dotted line to protect Canada and its citizens from international and domestic threats. Charles Fox and his sons represent domestic threats to the safety of women by perpetrating violence against women. If we view them through the eyes and lens of the Me Too movement, he and his sons are the native versions of Harvey Weinstein. One of the sons of Charles Fox threatened he is going to come after me and beat me up. I was relieved the Thunder Bay police confiscated his firearms. I have never heard of any one of them fighting a man, only beating up on their wives, girlfriends, and mistresses. Charles Fox and his sons' abusive behaviors are not limited to people, but also toward the treatment of animals. They executed, murdered a female polar bear and her cub for eating some of their harvested meat. The mother bear just wanted to feed her hungry baby and be on their way. The bears would have been fine. But had it not been for the rage of the hunters to seek the bears out, they went and did that and destroyed them. Such a senseless killing of two innocent animals is an act of violence, These so-called hunters have no morals. They're killers. I implore voters in the Kenora Kiewit-Nook riding, native and non-native, to choose wisely as you always do. I would not vote for this candidate. His character has too many flaws and disappointments to be a Liberal representative. I mean, is the Liberal Party that desperate that they're scraping the bottom of the barrel for an outdated, has-been, native bullshitting politician to represent its people in this riding? Taxpayers, do not be fooled. Charles Fox lives high on the hog by milking taxpayers' money to fund his version of Indian residential school. Casting your vote for Charles Fox is the equivalent of voting for a brown-skinned version of Donald Trump. As for me, you could describe me as disgruntled. However, I have righteous wrath as a father to protect my daughter against these abusers and bullies. I love my only child with all my heart. I did not raise my daughter to become someone's punching bag. That hurts. My daughter is a beautiful and precious human being. She is resilient, but it will take time to heal from the trauma of intimate partner violence. My daughter is a great, wonderful mother and parent. I admire her as such. I will protect her and her honor with my life. She is a special gift from the Creator. I am proud to be chosen as her dad. It is my duty as a father and soldier to protect my only child. Just like that poor mother bear who died protecting her baby. Attention, voters. You can help stop electing candidates to positions of public office. Trust, that whole trust against those who perpetrate violence against women. Don't let them get those bases, those positions. Voters need to be aware that those elected to public office make decisions on policies that impact women every day. Do you think a shady character with a history of violence against women and girls is going to have their best interests, the best interests of women in mind? I actively promote the awareness of the White Ribbon Program and the Moose Hide Campaign. These important groups work to bring awareness and action to end violence against women and girls. I pray my activism reaches voters to bring awareness. My question to candidates in all ridings: what will you and your party do to help end violence against women? It's an epidemic. Needs to be stopped. How has their voting record while an MP has supported the safety, justice, and rights of women? They need to be prepared to answer these important questions. It is crucial as voters that we demand more from elected officials when it comes to the safety and well-being of women in our communities. Vote for credible leaders who prioritize and take action to protect women from domestic violence and intimate partner violence. We all deserve a government that is committed to ending gender-based violence. It was a sad day and setback day when Mark Carney eliminated a very important position of Minister for Women and Gender Equality. It's like, that is senseless. But to Charles Fox, this is my campaign. I will stand in your way because you messed with the wrong soldier's daughter. And my last postscript: we live in strange times. In the past, telling the truth, was considered, a quality, a trait, revered and noble. But today, speaking the truth, one is chastised, punished. Haters will be haters, I suppose. I will find out if I have a job to return to next week, for using Facebook, where I posted my letter, and now YouTube, where you're seeing me face to face speaking. And I use them as my platforms. Where else can a father turn to? Like battered women, at the hands of, experiencing violence by men. Where do they go? Right? And as a father, where do I turn to? Who listens to us? So I use these platforms to speak my truth. But I am at your mercy. It is what it is. As a warrior, I'm willing to be the sacrificial lamb. The sacrificial lamb for seeking truth, holding up honor, and seeking justice for my daughter. That is my duty as long as the Creator allows me to walk on this earth and while I breathe.